All right, so let's get started. So this is as honest as any presentation about this quote unquote opportunity of EXP, and why I've been sort of just eating humble pie around it. And this is a Wikipedia definition of humble pie. It's to face humiliation and subsequently apologize for serious mistakes. So my initial reaction to EXP was similar to those that are still sort of not willing to see the opportunity, and just some limiting beliefs and some stereotypes around this model. And so I want to just kind of present what I have seen that was different from the wall I had put up for years and dozens of folks presenting the opportunity. So really quickly, my journey in real estate started out like um, any sort of busy agent, just doing everything you could do to keep busy, starting mostly buyer heavy, doing some sellers, working on the business a little bit here and there. Mostly for me in the late hours, the 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is how my story went. I was able to transition away from buyers and focus most of my time on sellers, and and building the business. And this was still sort of more. Almost a little bit more difficult. I mean, I ascended pretty rapidly. It took me about 6 years to go from new to the business to sell 400 homes and have complete leverage. And so the next step for me was, I added in listing partner. So I had a little bit of leverage on the listing side. I stepped out. Within about a year, I added a second listing partner, and I got to spend more of my time working on the business and building the systems and those dollar productive activities around that. And then ultimately full leverage in the business back in 2012 was the last transaction I sold personally. In 2013, I went down to 1 day a week in real estate. So that journey was hard. I failed a lot. And I started real estate B school, not because I ever had a vision of starting real estate B school. It was just a tough journey. And I didn't want others to struggle the way that I had struggled. And so Real Estate B School, we exist to help agents in our world and top producing agents and team leaders, have more money, have more freedom, and be able to have more impact. And that whole journey provided me with some leverage and a very intentional outcome in terms of having the freedom of time and money and freedom from stress to be able to do cool things with my family. So here we are in Mexico. You can see I overshot on the sunscreen on my beard there. Yet there are still big challenges in real estate. And, when I look at traditional agents, they're on a treadmill. Literally, if they stop selling, they stop making money. There is no exit strategy. And the top agent put in a level of hours that yields a certain level of stress, and it's not worth the sacrifice. We see that over and over and over again. And the team model has its own challenges. I have probably over 100 people have come into my world as a team leader and are not in our world anymore. And a lot of those were just good sort of natural progression for the people that came in. So you spend time helping agents, they eventually leave. I don't believe you're really training the competition, but a lot of times, team leaders have that feeling, or you give away margin and you cut these deals to agents on your team to stay. Like, hey, I'll just pay you more split. It's this one-off sort of deal. And so the exit plan challenge, I think, is the biggest challenge. Even with some of the most successful team leaders, it's this desire to have a steady stream of income. So let's pick a number, 30,000. That's $360,000 a year. Let's say the number I use is 5%. There's actually a study that shows it's 4% if you have a lump of cash and you draw it down in order to safely say that you'll not run out of money. The math works easier at 5%. So stick with me. If you take any number of annual earnings that you want to make and you divide it by, let me see, you multiply it by 20. And the same thing as dividing it by 0.05. So 360 times 20 equals 7.2 million. So in order to earn $30,000 a month, it's the equivalent of having $7.2 million in the bank. And that's that's a challenge for a lot of people to get there. I'm using this strategy and I'm still adding to my sort of pot of gold, right? And so take all of that as a backdrop. You know, I've achieved at a high level in real estate. You know, went from solo agent to over 400 transactions in a single year. That's the year I worked 42 days, right? And then I started Real Estate B School, and we've been helping folks do this. And so we have these success stories. Not everyone is successful, and it's still hard. And so over the last 3 years, you may recognize me. I'm probably 25 pounds, maybe 30 pounds heavier in this picture. The guy on the right of the screen is AJ Maida, who spent about 2 years in Real Estate B School. And the guy in the middle is John Mikish, who spent 3 years in Real Estate B School. And you know, AJ, I was in a men's group with this guy, coached him personally, had about $1 million real estate team. He tells me, I think I was one of the first people that he told. He's like, I just joined EXP. I'm like, EX what? And he's like, yeah, it's this, you know, great little company, and they've got this rev share deal, and they're in 27 states now, and there's, you know, or 22 states, 2,700 agents. I'm like, that sounds crazy, dude. I'm like, you're doing so well. You know, he's sort of ingrained in KW, kind of doing the KW thing. Productivity coach. He took Ignite 5 times. He was, you know, I don't think it was a team leader, but he was sort of ingrained in the KW way and world. So he announces to me, I shame him pretty openly. And I'm like, dude, and it's mostly looking back, there was a couple parts of it. It wasn't the rejecting the network marketing aspect of it that we quickly dismiss. It was more so that I'm the guy that never gets into something when it's new. It's just my natural sort of, and most of the time it protects me. And even in this opportunity, it's protected me to not be the first guy in. So I'm just like instantly like, this is like a new CRM coming out that's going to claim to do all the work for you. Like, this is just another shiny object. I think everything's a shiny object until you prove me wrong. So AJ gets in, takes about 18 months to get to $26,000 a month in revenue share. He decides to go in an RV for 12 months, 2 dogs and an RV. And he comes back, he's at 60,000 a month. He brought 21 people into the organization. They built it out to the point where he is earning 7-figure income at this point. Doesn't sell real estate anymore. He lives in Puerto Rico. And he's a good guy. And so there were 2 events in particular. When I look back on the series of events, August 19th, he posted this on Facebook. And like, I know this guy personally. So it's not like some guy that we can make up some story about him and, you know, sort of project something on. Like, I know this guy's heart. Huge milestone hit yesterday, 2,000 agents in my rev share organization, right? Just over 3 years. You can see, you know, he took bold 5 times. He was on the ALC productivity coach, and he wasn't looking to make a change, but he was open-minded, right? At that time it was 2,400 agents, 25 states. It was the stock we made fun of. It was the penny stock, right? And it's actually 37,000 agents, 7 provinces. I think they launched in most of those countries, and I think they're at about 45 to 50 bucks a share. $4.2 billion public company. And so that was one. About a week later, it was the post all the way on the right. It said, my revenue share team closed 1,008 houses last month. And I'm like, 1,008 houses. I'm like, part of me is a little annoyed. I'm not going to lie. And I've told AJ this. And I'm like, dude, I know you live in Puerto Rico. I know you don't sell houses anymore. I'm like, how did you sell 1,000 homes a month? And in my mind, I'm like, I'm the guy who's all about leverage, who's all about systems, it's all about like money, freedom, and impact. And here's a guy that's living the life he designed for himself. Now he's impacting a whole bunch of agents, more agents than I've ever had in my organization. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I just got this sort of pit in my stomach. Then John calls. Remember the picture, the 3 of us, AJ was on the right, John was in the middle. He's the guy in the beard in this picture. This is after he's 14 months in to an RV trip. So him, Jane, Jen went on a trip cross country. They settled in Bozeman, Montana. So I coached John for 3 years. He runs a real estate team just north of Charlotte, completely 100% leverage. He calls me, exactly what he said. Lars, you're sitting down. And I'm like, instantly I thought this guy is like terminally ill or something's going on with Jen. And because I know his heart, we spent a lot of time together in the early days of real estate B school. And I really helped him step by step, triple his production, do the whole, went from 25 to 80 million and put a team in place to run the whole business. He said, are you sitting down? I said, yeah. He said, I'm moving my team over to EXP. Y'all, the like visceral reaction in my body. I think my heart stopped. I got a lump in my throat, and instantly I felt the same wall come up. You guys ever make a decision? You ever start to sense that your triggers are not based in rational, like in a rational sort of sense? That's what happened when I was talking to John. And you know, it's been said that the most expensive thing you can own is a closed mind. And I'll be honest, 100% guilty of this. Truth about EXP, this is something that I'm not proud to say, is that I didn't see the opportunity because I never really looked at it. I never studied it. You know, I dismiss a new CRM until like 10 people I trust bring it to me and say, hey, listen, you got to look at this CRM because it's 10x better than the one you're using. And so that was the moment with John, is that I trust this guy. He's not a hype guy, super conservative like I am. I want to, this is 9 minutes. I want you to watch this in a very specific, and I'm going to share my screen in a way where my sound is playing. I want you to watch it. There's an example in here that, well, anyway, I'm not going to give away the punchline, but there's an example to earn revenue share, but it's a whole explanation about EXP in 9 minutes. And so I want to share my light bulb moment when I first watched this 9-minute video that changed everything for me. So let me reshare my screen here.
Welcome to EXP Realty. The following is an overview of one of the most innovative real estate brokerage models today. A global community designed, powered, and owned by our agents and partners, transforming the real estate experience. Our family of agents build their own businesses while having equity opportunities in EXP World Holdings. As technology has transformed entertainment, transportation, communications, and retail, it is now transforming the real estate industry. EXP Realty started a technology revolution 10 years ago with its highly innovative, 3D, fully immersive cloud office environment that offers our agents 24/7 access to collaborative tools, training, and socialization. EXP Realty continues to experience record-breaking year-over-year growth. EXP recently launched the United Kingdom and Australia, with plans to further expand across the world. Our core values define our culture and ensure decisions are always aligned. For example, being agile allows us to make adjustments at any time for our agents and their clients. EXP is at the forefront of technology. Every agent gets their own lead generation CRM system called KV Core. For a non-EXP agent, it could cost over $400 per month. This industry-leading system provides you with a personalized IDX website, CRM, email and text campaigns, squeeze pages, landing pages, and more. Always know when consumers are viewing listings on your website. Having a tool like this to manage and stay in front of your contacts is crucial to the growth of your business. SkySlope allows agents to manage their business totally paperless. This all-in-one transaction management system helps you effortlessly stay organized with your transactions. All of your important data is contained on one detailed checklist, so you have everything in one place. One of our top priorities is building our own technology. Our EXP Enterprise Business Intelligence Center gives agents both autonomy and great visibility into their metrics. In addition, the system offers comprehensive business intelligence insights that are imperative to your success. Within your dashboard, you'll be able to monitor your performance metrics, commissions, revenue share, equity awards, transactions, and more. Whether you need a quick postcard or a full presentation, the EXP Marketing Center has it all. You can edit marketing collateral within minutes by choosing from over 5,000 marketing pieces. In fact, when a new listing is added to your MLS, you'll receive an email with 10 marketing items created automatically for your listing. Welcome to EXP World, our three-dimensional virtual cloud-based office environment. Meet, learn, and collaborate with agents and support staff from anywhere with an internet connection. Join a meeting or training within our community via your phone, tablet, or computer. In EXP World, agents get real-time live support from our over 400 full-time staff members. Access over 80 hours of new live training weekly in EXP World. Our training focuses on industry best practices, how to grow a profitable real estate business, professional development, and much more. These sessions are taught not only by our highly experienced training department professionals, but also by our top producing agents and teams from around the world. EXP believes that your career is your brand. There is nothing more important to your business than you. That's why we allow agents and independent brokerages to self-brand, as long as they're following state laws. EXP Realty agents also have access to Workplace by Facebook, which is a dedicated and secure working space to connect, communicate, and collaborate with other agents and EXP staff. You will be able to use familiar Facebook features like Newsfeed, Groups, Messages, and Events to get things done quickly and efficiently. We understand that some agents enjoy the office setting from time to time, which is why every agent at EXP gets a global membership to Regus shared offices and their new brand, Spaces. Regus offers 3,000 office locations in over 900 cities in 120 countries. Every agent at EXP has the opportunity to become a shareholder in EXP World Holdings. Earn equity awards for closing your first transaction each year, capping each year, and every time an agent you attracted joins EXP and does their first transaction. Additionally, our agent equity program helps agents prepare for retirement. You may elect to take 5% of your gross commission per transaction and buy the company stock at a 10% discount. Our ticker symbol is EXPI. Note that some stock awards are subject to vesting. EXP's Icon Agent program is unmatched within the industry. Our founder, Lynn, strongly believes that top producing agents should be rewarded for their contribution. There are two ways to qualify for Icon status: $5,000 paid in post-cap transaction fees, or $500,000 annual GCI with a minimum of 10 closed transactions. When you achieve Icon status, you'll receive 100% of your cap that you paid to EXP back in the form of company stock, essentially putting you at a 100% commission split. One of the most exciting aspects of our compensation plan is our revenue sharing model, which allows you to build a monthly leveraged income by attracting productive agents to the company. Here is a breakdown of how the revenue sharing model works. Tier 1 contains the agents that you personally attracted to the brokerage. For each commission on this tier, you will receive 3.5% of their total commission. This amount is taken out of EXP's 20%, not out of the agent's 80% commission. Once the agent has hit their annual cap, they start receiving 100% of their commissions. You therefore no longer receive income from their deals for the remainder of the year, which is why the max you can earn on this tier per agent is $2,800. You can earn on all 7 tiers, but it's contingent upon how many agents you've personally attracted to the brokerage and their level of production. For example, if you attract 5 producing agents, you earn on Tier 1 and Tier 2, which are agents that your Tier 1 agents attracted. If you attract 10 producing agents, you earn on Tier 1, Tier 2, and also on Tier 3, which are agents that your Tier 2 agents attracted, but not on Tiers 4 through 7. Let's go through a quick example of how you can create a monthly leveraged income through the revenue share program. Here is you. You personally attract 5 capping agents. Then, each of those 5 agents attract 5 capping agents of their own, giving you 5 agents on Tier 1 and 25 agents on Tier 2. For the 5 capping agents on Tier 1, you earn up to $2,800 each. And for the 25 capping agents on Tier 2, you earn up to $3,200 each, giving you an annual leveraged income of up to $94,000. Please note that these figures are based on each one of these agents' capping which is approximately selling $2.7 million of real estate per year with an average commission of 3%. Speak to an EXP agent or staff member for further explanation. IntroLend is a groundbreaking new way for real estate professionals to initiate the mortgage application and pre-qualification phase of the home buying experience. The platform allows agents to gain back control of the transaction, provide their customers with a competitive mortgage, and at the same time, enjoy a RESPA-compliant quarterly earnings dividend through their ownership interest in IntroLend. Express Offers is a revolutionary new home selling option for homeowners who would like to skip the hassle and uncertainty of a traditional home sale. The platform connects sellers with institutional buyers who can pay in cash and close quickly. Unlike other iBuyer platforms, Express Offers allows agents to receive real estate commissions. At EXP, you'll never pay a desk fee, royalty fee, or franchise fee. Every agent is treated equally and is on an 80-20 split, which caps each year at $16,000. You then receive 100% commission for the remainder of your year. It's only $149 to join EXP, and that includes your first month's $85 brokerage fee. On each transaction, there is a $25 broker review fee and a $40 risk management fee. The risk management fee caps at $500 each year. We're also excited to announce that we've added an innovative, low-cost healthcare alternative for our agents. EXP Realty continues to set industry records. We're honored to share that our agent count and transaction close sides have both increased by over 65% year over year, and company revenue has increased 79% year over year. Traditional real estate brokerages offer only one way to earn income: commissions from property sales. To recap, EXP Realty offers you 7 ways to earn income: buy and sell commissions, stock purchases and awards, agent attraction revenue share, Express Offers buy and sell commissions, Express Offers iBuyer referral commissions, IntroLend First Cloud quarterly dividends, and foreign currency exchange commissions. Other income options are currently in development. We appreciate you taking the time to review our exciting agent opportunity. For more information, please reach out to the agent or staff member that shared this video with you.
It's funny that
Welcome to EXP.
That last comment there, you know, once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. And you know what I take away, and every time I watch that video, I've seen that video probably 10 times now, I take notes on what I saw. And the thing, as I'm, you know, a couple months into working through this with people closest to me, the thing that I'm now more confident in than even when I got into to EXP myself is the fact that this is Blockbuster and Netflix. And I don't say that to be dramatic. I'm seeing it in the ways that the traditional brokers are reacting to me having conversations with some of their top people. You know, I brought on probably a bunch of top agents, you know, $40 to $50 million teams, brought over $100 million independent brokerage. So this thing is happening. The disruption's real, whether we like it or not. The numbers on that presentation were 37,000 agents at this point. Operationally, hundreds of thousands of transactions are going through EXP last year and this year. And they're actually one of the bigger brokerages in my market. So operationally, it's all been worked out, the kinks. That marketing center is legit. I don't have access to that in my former brokerage. The training, as an Icon agent, you're required to do the training. So you're getting trained by top agents, the Regis, the stock, 5 ways to earn stock, the revenue share, that simple example at $7,800 a month, the 80-20 split, and the healthcare, and the IntroLend, and, you know, and the Express Offers. So they call it a menu, right? You may not take advantage of all of it, but it is like, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? And so when I actually looked at it, I'm like, why was I so offended by this? It's because a lot of people that came into EXP early on were a little bit EXP crazy, a little bit multi-level marketing, where it's like, you've got to try this, you know, acai berry juice, and that was the belief in my head that this is just another acai Monavi, right? Monavi, back in the day, I got accosted by people like it was going to change my life. And I was to do the business opportunity before I had a sip of the berry juice, right? The difference here is that we're already doing this. We're already part of a brokerage where presumably you're exchanging, referral fees, right? When you pay your brokerage a cap or a royalty, like there's a value exchange, right? So the question is, the stack that you just saw, is that different, same? Like, what's the value exchange? And that doesn't take into account that there isn't an organization where you can earn stock right now. There isn't an organization that pays in a revenue share type fashion. And so it's just a different opportunity. And when I came into it, I'm like, man, I've got a lot on the line here in terms of like my core beliefs as a person. This is from Real Estate B School's website. Scale your business, have more time and money freedom, and greater purpose and impact. And this opportunity aligns only more closely with what I believe, what I'm looking for in my life. It's ability to scale. My ability to scale literally globally at this point was not an option before I joined EXP. More freedom. I haven't done a great job with passive income sources. I went down the real estate investing route. I owned 10 properties and it was a headache. I built my businesses to max leverage. So there's leverage income there, but it's not passive or residual. And in terms of purpose and impact, there's more impact for folks that are going to come in and work directly with me, or if someone sent you here, you'll be working with them. So there's more impact for the people that we lead every day. Either it's agents we co-broke with, people on our team, or people that we get to share this opportunity with. So, and EXP doesn't want to replace your brand. They're not a franchise, right? So the guidelines with color of the balloon, like I owned a Remax franchise, right? The guidelines were like, the balloon is the thing. Like you're paying for the balloon, you have to use it. They don't want to change anything about your culture, your brand, the way you do business at all. They simply want to enhance it. And so the question is, what could this mean for you? And I want you to look at this video. I want you to not throw your hands up when he goes through the first example, not even the second example. The third example is something that I want you to wrap your head around and ask yourself if that level of income would be meaningful to you. So you'll get it here in a second, but there's 3 examples. I want you to pay attention to. I think everyone can do the second example. And I know I personally talked to dozens of folks that don't have a coaching company like me. They are regular real estate agents, top agents in their markets, or team leaders that have already proven out that they can get to 1,000 people in their organization. So I want you to listen to this and really register. Which one do you think you could actually do? Example 2, 3. Some of you think you can do 1, but let's listen here.
Click on revenue share calculator. So what this is going to do is show you how revenue share does. Break it down. This is the part you gotta watch. It just blew me away. So we're not a franchise, we're a national company, and according to NAR, the National Association of Realtors, the average agent sells 6 homes a year. I've been talking about agents who sell 8 to 10. We're going to bring it back to agents who just sell 6 homes a year. What would happen? And according to NAR, the average sales price coast to coast is $275. The average commission is 2.5, sadly enough. I know I get 3.5 on all my listings. Some of you get 3. You'll make more. Some of you are a higher sales price. I'm like at 475. So, and I sell way more than 6, and I'm sure a bunch of you too. Again, it'll just be better. I'm dialing this back. I'm being conservative. So let's say the first year, just play along with me here. How many agents could you personally introduce to EXP? Could you do 5? I'm going to give you a 5-year plan, kind of like a 401k for real estate and an exit strategy. Not that you have to exit real estate, but how would you like not to have to work as hard as you've been working for all these years? So could you introduce 5 this year, and could you do that each year for 5 years? If so, at the end of 5 years, you will have referred 25 people to EXP. And in my example, I'm going to say who average 6 sales a year at $275 at a 2.5 commission. And then how many people do you think those agents get introduced over the next 5 years? What if they did one a year for 5 years? That'd be 5 in a 5-year period. And then the agents stay till even less, 3 in a 5-year period. The agents stay till even less, 2 in a 5-year period. That's like one person every 2.5 years. I'm really kind of dialing this back. Because you told 25, 20 unlocks level 5, and 25 gets you to level 6. However, you do not get paid on level 7. You must refer 40. You only did 25, so you're not going to be paid on level 6. So what this calculator does is it shows you your annual income, not one-time income, but your annual income with EXP through revenue sharing once you complete the above picture. Now people are like, what was the above picture? You personally referred 25 agents to EXP. Now I did 12 in my first 2 weeks. This is not hard to do. But 25 people to EXP in the next 5 years who average 6 sales a year, and they tell some of their friends, who tell some of their friends, it kind of compounds and accumulates out. Okay, and I always ask people, what do you think it'll be? And they're like, well, I don't know, like 80,000 a year, 180,000 a year. And one guy is kind of a math guy. He's, oh, no, it's going to compound. It's closer to 280, over $250,000. Well, here it is, and I promise you this is not broken. It's $2.1 million a year is your annual income 5 years from now with EXP revenue sharing once you complete the above picture, which is right here. What is this? Can you refer, if you want to make $2.1 million a year outside of sales, because now you're not just a salesperson, you're building a real estate company with EXP, with me, with the person who invited you here. So could you have 25 people? There's 2 million out there. Could you find 25 who average 6 sales a year, not a month, a year, at 275? Could you find those people? But then they tell some people who tell some people, tell some people. I went and did 25 in 3.5 months. I already have people that have done 5, 10, 15, 20, 23, 24. We haven't even plugged in any of those kind of numbers here. Again, you did the lion's share of the work. Nobody did anything like this. And there's your income, $2.1 million a year. Now, I was showing this to a friend of mine. He's like, hey, could you change that to 15? I go, sure, why? He goes, well, I'm not as outgoing as you, but I think I could tell 3 people this year. And if I did that each year for 5 years, I could refer 15. He goes, I think this is more realistic for me. I'm like, okay. Well, you lose level 6 because it takes 25 to get level 6 revenue sharing. You lose level 5 because you have to refer 20. Referring 15 will just get you paid on 3 levels. He goes, yeah, show me that. This is more me. I think I could do this in 5 years. I'm like, okay, well, before I do that, you need to know it is nowhere near 2.1 million. And now this is a friend of mine. He's like, I knew it was too good to be true. I knew it. And I go, well, don't go crying in your beer because $655,000 a year is not bad. He's like, really? He's like, okay, I'm in. And he actually signed up, and he's with me today. So if you'd like to make $655,000 a year 5 years from now, you just need to refer 15 agents to EXP who average 6 sales a year. Then each of those will start to tell some people who tell us, and it compounds and accumulates out. I'll end with this. I showed this to another friend up north of Farmtown. He goes, could you drop it to 10? I go, yeah, why? He owned an independent brokerage. He had 14 agents that worked for him. They said all my agents, they average probably 6. And this is actually, sadly, probably what my agents do, sleepy little farm town. Because I think 10 of them will sign it. He's a kind of a cowboy. He's like a big barrel-chested guy. He goes, I think 10 of them will sign up for that deal. He called it a deal. It's pretty funny. And he goes, and I could see them doing this. And he goes, what would this earn me? I go, well, you're going to lose level 4 because you had to tell 15. You're only going to get paid on 2 levels. And he goes, yeah. He goes, I could see that happening for sure. And he's a 35-year independent. He goes, what would that earn me? I got to be honest with you. I was nervous to hit the go button. I'm like, what, 30, 40,000 a year? I'd never done anything that low. Well, how's $250,000 a year? 251,000 a year. Talk about a 401k for real estate. Or you could just not try. Well, I'm just going to stay with my old company and sell my tail off. Really, that's why I left Keller Williams, because I knew in 5 years I'd be 56 years old. I'd be selling my tail off then just like I am now. I knew my future is predictable. So is yours. You'll be at Coldwell Banker in 5 years. You'll be at RE/MAX in 5 years. Maybe you'll be doing luxury homes. Maybe this, maybe that. but you'll still be dealing with buyers who are upset because the home inspector missed the broken garbage disposal, or a seller who's upset because the buyer asked them to put a new roof on, and how dare them, and somehow you should have known. I mean, it doesn't change in 21 years. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to sell a ton of homes at Keller Williams or Remax or wherever I am. I might as well do it at EXP. By the way, last month is my 8th month at EXP. I shattered all my all-time personal sales records. No one cared at all that it was with a company they had never heard of. When I went to Keller Williams in 2009, people were like, KW, what's that? I go, Keller Williams. They're like, what's that? I'm like, well, there's this company out of Texas. They're really cool. Nobody cared then. Nobody cares now. They do business with you.
So what I really appreciate about that, let me get my slides right here. Yeah. So what I appreciate about that, that's Brent Gove, who's one of my leaders in EXP, is the fact that he's not saying to stop real estate. He was a top agent at Remax. He helped build Remax. He was a top agent at KW, right? They came up with the 7 levels, and he helped build, that organization when it was new, and he was discouraged to go into KW. It was, pyramid scheme and all that. And the same thing when he entered into this opportunity. He has 12,000 people in his organization in the EXP, or some crazy number. And so when I looked at those 2 videos combined, and you can resonate with one of those 3 examples. The reason why my first reaction was to not believe it. Like, how could they possibly pay out through, 2,800 and 3,200? They're willing to pay 7 levels deep. They're willing to pay out the 16,000, all of it, because they have other fees and transaction fees and all of that. Generally, always less expensive than any other brokerage option for the most part. I've run a lot of scenarios at this point. When I looked at it, though, I'm like, I had 2 choices. I'm not exactly where I want to get to in my financial picture. The choice when I watched that video, because that middle number for me was my number. My number is about $40,000 to $50,000 a month passive is where I want to get to. So I had a choice. I could attract 15 agents inside of this, this platform, EXP, or I can save, $7.2 million. And so when you look at where you are in your journey, I'm going to take you through an exercise that you do not have to chime in. I do not need to know your answers. What's your number? Pick a number on the left side. What's your residual monthly income number? For me, mine's like 40 to 50. So that example was a little bit light for me. But what's your number? And then, so write it down, 30,000, 360, 7.2 million. So take that number. So let's say for me, let's say it's 4.8 million. I'll go through the real example. So you want 20,000 a month passive, 240 a year, 4.8 million saved. So 4.8 million is going to draw down at 5%. So how much have you saved toward that number? Let's say you are $1.2 million in. Let's say you have 1.2 million liquid against 4.8. You're $3.6 million off. How much are you saving per year? So how much are you saving per year? Let's say you're saving 10,000 a month of cash. So 3.6 million. I'm going to do the math. The delta will be 3.6 million divided by 120,000 per year, 30 years. So whatever your math looks like, whatever your I'm done number is, pick the number on the right. If you want 30,000, it's 7.2 million. How much have you saved so far? Liquid, right? Or you can convert what you have into liquid. And then how much are you saving per year? And then calculate the number of years. And then you just have the same question to ask yourself. No matter what you have thought about EXP up to this point, do you think it's more likely for you to save 4.8 million to 7.2 million dollars over the next 20 to 30 years, given your history of saving, your success in real estate being the main vehicle for it? Or do you think it's more likely that you could attract 10 to 15 agents in the next 3 years? And when I looked at that, that was my light bulb moment where I was like, I think anyone can attract 15 agents. So that middle example, any busy agent, definitely team leaders. Team leaders can go 25 wide on this thing really easily. I think anyone over a 3-year period can bring 15 people. And I know plenty of people that are brought in, that are earning 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a month that have, no sort of brand or authority outside of just selling homes in their market. And so I think you had the same two choices that I did. And all I see is more alignment and opportunity for freedom. There's a quote by, this is Mike Michalowicz. I don't geek out about many people, but he wrote a book called Profit First, Clockwork, at like five really good books. This quote I feel like is most real estate agents. It's putting your nose to the grindstone is a really easy way to cover up an unhealthy business. To think that if we can just work harder, longer, better, if we just hold out, something good will happen one day. So I've been using his philosophy of profit first, even before I read the book, for 10 or 12 years. And I'm about a third the way in terms of savings. So I have this big gap in where I want to be and I've done really good. I'm saving 20 grand a month. My save, I've done a really good job. Most folks though, when I ask them the question of how, what's your number, how much you have so far, how much are you saving per year, and what's the difference? Most are not where they need to be. And if they're honest with themselves, you have to deal with that, right? And so this is kind of throws in your face. When my biggest takeaway, I mentioned it, to me, this is the blockbuster Netflix. I think we're going to look back. EXP is projecting 100,000 agents in the next 12 to 18 months. I think we're going to look back and you're going to realize, and not that it will be too late 12 to 18 months from now, I think the momentum, the conversations that I'm having right now are unbelievably powerful in terms of like, it's just guiding people through a conversation. Are you reaching your financial goals? If you're not, you're already in the business of real estate, right? Could Netflix, could EXP be a place where you could do real estate? Check. Could you earn stock, right? Check. Could you do rev share? Check. I love this. Tony Robbins from Business Mastery, he compared Hilton with Airbnb. Airbnb owns no real estate, right? They're the largest accommodations provider. It took Hilton 100 years to reach a market cap of 18 billion. Airbnb got to 31 billion in 10 years, right? I believe we are seeing the same thing. There's really no other real estate company that anyone is talking about right now. And so it's really the only thing anyone's talking about. Production is the biggest thing folks want to pick on about EXP, yet they're top in any market they've been in for a period of time. They're top in the market. That's what's happened in my market. There are some markets where there's not a big EXP presence. And that's where the last 3 that I've launched into this opportunity have come from markets where there's not that great of a presence. In my market, it doesn't really scare me. It's the top, I think it is the top brokerage in my market right now. And there's still an opportunity because there's 2 or 3% of agents in my market are with EXP. In some markets, it's like, 0.1%. And so this is going to go to, worldwide, they want to get to 1 million agents out of 25 million agents worldwide.